Hi everyone, my name is Shaz and this is Shazness Wellness. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome. I'm officially a mom and I'm so excited to make this video. It is going to be my labor and delivery story. So I have about 10 minutes probably to chat to you. Mom life is super busy. I had this idea that I would have so much free time because the baby sleeps all the time. It knew. Week one, I feel like my baby boy was like this little angel and we had a schedule. Then week two, I got hit with all this stuff like colic. He was colicky, really gassy. He got baby acne. I didn't have enough milk supply. I'm going to talk about all that kind of stuff in the future in my channel. I'm so excited to start making more mama-ness videos, but for today we're going to strictly talk about labor and delivery. He is sleeping so peacefully downstairs with daddy right now, so I didn't want to wake him, but he'll probably make an appearance in the end of this video. So I do want to start by saying on my due date I made a video. I don't think I shared it on YouTube. Let's just share that quickly. It's real quick. To get that baby boy out in that weekend. So February 28th, I believe, was a Thursday. March 1st was a Friday, and I had him on March 2nd at 9:55 a.m. So on my due date, the February 28th, as you can see, I was shoving dates down my mouth. I actually ate an entire pineapple. I did. I just bought the pineapple. I ate it. I was bouncing on the ball, doing everything to naturally induce labor. March 1st, I didn't feel anything, but it wasn't until I went to bed. And then 2 a.m. March 2nd, I personally thought my water broke. So that's when it all started. I went to sleep, 2 a.m. I woke up, I felt this flush of water. I woke up Brandon, I was like, Brandon, it's happening. I think my water just broke. So if you're new to my channel, I was tested GBS positive, which meant that if my water broke, I needed to go to the hospital and be on antibiotics right away, just to make sure that baby didn't get passed on this bacteria that I was carrying through the vaginal canal. So my water broke, I paged my midwife. I called her at 2 and I said, hey, I think my water broke. She said, okay, that's great. We're not gonna go to the hospital until contractions start, until labor starts. So call me back when you start to have contractions. It was 2:30 and I started to have contractions, so I called her back. And I said, hey, contractions have already started. She said, great, start to time them and then call me back when they're 5 minutes apart. So at this point, I pretty much like called my mom and like, you know, the people I needed to. And I was like, okay, I'm definitely having him. My water broke, my labor started. And I just had this hunch it was gonna go by very, very quickly, but everyone tells you it's your first baby, you know, expect labor to be between 12 to 18 hours. So 3 o'clock came, like 3 a.m., and my contractions were already 5 minutes apart and feeling pretty strong, but not strong enough to like take me out of breath. I was just, ow, ow, you know, like, okay, contractions, like these feel, this is something here. Like I needed to bend over, you know, I needed my mom or Brandon to rub my back to make it feel better. So I call my midwife back at 3 and I say, hey, they're 5 minutes apart. They're feeling pretty strong. And I feel very strongly that this is just gonna go by super quick. And I'm GBS positive and I wanna be on antibiotics as soon as I can. So can we meet at the hospital? So she said, that's no problem. Let's meet at the hospital for 5 a.m. So I said, okay. She said, relax, you know, like maybe take a hot bath or anything like that. And then we'll meet at 5. We went to the hospital for 5. I got checked and my midwife actually said my water never ended up breaking, which was really good for me because me being GBS positive, I wanted to make sure that if my water was broken, it wasn't for too long without being on antibiotics. But I guess it was a false alarm. You know, a lot of bodily things happen when you're in labor. It was a lot of fluid, but it wasn't my water that broke. So that was confirmed at 5 a.m. and I was 2 centimeters dilated. At this point, my midwife said, you're only 2 centimeters dilated. It's early labor. You have lots of time. Go back home, go shower, go rest, you know, and we have to wait till you're in active labor in order to put you on antibiotics. And so she told me to go home. My intuition was like, oh, I do not want to go home. Again, I really think this is gonna go by very, very quickly. And my mom actually came in and just enforced, we're not leaving. I want her to stay here. I really think she's gonna have this baby quickly. So we both kind of had the hunch that this is gonna go by very quick, just based on me, my body, my activity, and how the labor was already progressing super fast. So she agreed to submit me. So I ended up going into the room that I was gonna deliver in, and by the time I like walked over and got submitted, it was like, I think it was like 5:45, I think at this point, and my contractions, I already couldn't breathe through, and I was already like feeling like in the movies. Like my mom said that I was doing really well, but in my head I was like, holy beep, 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 like, ow, like this kills. Like I thought I was screaming on top of my lungs during contractions. And at one point, I think it was like 6 o'clock, and I was like, if this is early labor, give me the freaking epidural. I will not get through active labor with this much pain. So I, at that point, was screaming, not screaming, but I was like, give me the epidural, order it, I want it, I want it, I want it. So it all went by so fast. Like I thought in my head, I would take little snippets of videos and like, you know, have little moments of the night, but oh my God, it just went by so quickly. So 6 o'clock came and I said, give me the epidural. They said, okay, we'll order you the epidural. It was like 6:30, I think. And I was like, where is this freaking epidural? And they were like, we ordered it. It should be coming, you know, like, you know, stay calm, keep breathing, blah, blah, blah. So I was doing my best to stay calm, but contractions were really painful. I think at, I want to say 6:45, I yelled out, I have the urge to push. Can somebody check me? And they didn't want to check me because I was GBS positive, and I wasn't on antibiotics yet, which was something I wasn't very happy about, because I think I should have been on antibiotics like right away, but technically they weren't allowed to give me antibiotics until I was in active labor. And they thought I was still in early labor because it was only been like 2 hours or 1 hour, or yeah, 2 hours since I've really been at the hospital. So at 7 o'clock, I think, I'm almost certain, it was like around 7 a.m., I was like, I have the urge to push, can somebody check me? And my midwife checked me, and her eyes went so open. She was like, oh my God, you're 7 centimeters dilated already. And I was like, I knew it. I honestly had the urge to push already. Like I felt him being so low, and and in my head, I thought I was being a puss, because I was like, if this is active labor, I am not as strong as I thought I would be, because I was screaming epidural at 6, and in my head, I was like, I'm only like maybe 2-3 centimeters dilated. Like, wow, I am not as strong as I thought. And I'm not being hard on myself, and you know, like everyone's different and every body's different and every labor is different. But in my head, I thought I would be stronger, and I thought for sure I would be able to kind of push the epidural until I was maybe in active labor. But who knew it? I was progressing so fast. The pain onset was so strong, and yeah, so I was 7 centimeters dilated at 7 a.m. and they were like, do not push. We are nowhere close to being ready to catch this baby. You still need to be on antibiotics, and your backup midwife isn't even here yet. So I was like, okay, then get me this freaking epidural. Like, I'm dying out here. So they came back to me and they're like, so sorry about the epidural. Like, someone came in, emerged, and needed the anesthesiologist. So obviously that's priority. So I totally got it. Like, I was on the table, like, I get it. Like, I understand, but like, I was in so much pain, but I was like, it's fine. I kept reminding myself, this is good pain. This is like, I'm getting a beautiful baby. Like, it's okay. You can get through it. But it was really a lot. Like, I felt very overwhelmed with the pain, and I definitely wanted the epidural at that point. But the thing that bothered me is that I could have had the baby naturally if they were ready for me, because I was already 7 centimeters dilated and wanted to push. So my midwife told me that I could have had the baby naturally by 8 a.m. latest if I didn't need to be on antibiotics and I could have just started pushing and they were ready for me, but they weren't. So this was my situation and I had to kind of just accept that and, you know, just do what was best at the time for me and baby. So because I couldn't start pushing and they weren't ready, I ended up getting an epidural around, I think, 7:45. So I had to wait like, yeah, an hour and 45 minutes, or almost 2 hours actually, to get the epidural. And it was honestly so hard, guys. Like, you have no idea. I was 10 centimeters dilated while I was getting the epidural, and of course, during epidural, you cannot move, and you have to like hunch over. So like, I didn't know that. Like, I thought you could just sit up or lean forward, but you have to like crouch down like really, really low and curve your back. And he was already like so low. I felt like I was squishing him, and I felt like his head was on the table as I was getting the epidural. And as the needle went in and they're like, do not move, my water broke. So as the needle went in, I felt the pop and I was just sitting in a pile of my water, like, I guess water, but my water broke. It was so uncomfortable, and I honestly had the thought, like, I'm gonna move and get paralyzed. Like, I can't stay still. Like, this is impossible. This pain and this uncomfortable position is making me need to move like right now. And my mom, luckily, and I'm so grateful she was there and holding my legs, and she's like, you can do this, do not move. And I don't know, I guess I just had the strength and I didn't move. And finally, when they're like, it's over, I was like, thank you, gosh. Oh my God, it was just, it was so hard to stay still. And then 10 minutes later, I was like on cloud 9. It was like, the epidural was a lifesaver. And again, the only reason why I needed to get the epidural, in my opinion, and why I wanted to, is because they were like, you're 10 centimeters dilated, but you need to wait 2 to 2.5 hours before you can start pushing. So I would have had to, and they made me close my legs because, babe, like, if I had my legs open, baby would probably just slip out at some point, or I would have the urge to push. So the reason why I wanted to get the epidural is because I would have had to sit at 10 centimeters dilated, water broken, with my legs closed for over 2 hours. And I was like, hell no. So yeah, I pretty much got the epidural at full dilation. Then I had to lie there for 2 hours with my legs closed on my side, just waiting for the antibiotics to drip through my system and wait for the backup midwife. So from 8 to like pretty much, well, 9:45, like, it wasn't 2 hours. But anyways, pretty much for approximately 2 hours I lied there. And then the midwife finally came around like 9, I wanna say like 9:30-ish. And because he was so low and ready, and I was 10 centimeters for so long, I think they just let me start pushing a little earlier, and I started pushing at 9:30. The epidural was honestly, like, I don't want to say it was amazing, but it was. Like, I didn't feel anything really. I got some rest in that time, so I rested, and then when I was ready to push, it took probably about 20 minutes, and he was born at 9:55 a.m. So technically my labor could have been 5 hours, from like 2 to 8, wait, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, like, it didn't really start at 2 because my water didn't break, so probably started at 3, so yeah. So technically my labor could have been 5 hours, but because the whole antibiotic GBS business, I had to wait until about 10, but I had him at 9:55 a.m. March 2nd. Yeah, so that was my labor and delivery. I am extremely grateful. They told me that for my next baby, I really need to make sure I either have it at home or like do not waste time, like go to the hospital right away, because that baby will come out super fast, because this was my first baby and it came out so quickly, and I can't imagine for my second one. I definitely do want a second one. And if I was saying that, then that's a good sign, right? Things are going pretty good. That's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to talk about. I'm so grateful. Maybe I'll go grab him so you guys can get a little meet and greet, a little Lukenzo. Okay, hold on. Be right back. This is Lukenzo. Oh, my little Luka. He'll make some more appearances in the future, and lots of Mama-ness videos to come. Oh, goodness. Oh, this is my mommy voice, by the way. Oh, I don't know, I make that noise all the time now. thank you so much for watching, and I'm so excited to be sharing my journey. I really hope that I can keep up one video a week every Wednesday, but you know, being a mom is now my priority, but I would love to keep it up. So thank you for watching. Give me a thumbs up if you liked this video, and I'm sorry if I can't reply to comments as much. I'm just, yeah, I'm sleep deprived and I'm busy, but I'm doing my best to keep you guys in the loop. Thanks again, and